I had that process where I was patting my pockets like, oh, I wish I had a snack, and then past Ollie put a snack in my pocket. I just hadn't noticed it until now. Also, the stream died while we went back. I think I kicked the Ethernet cable in the back of my computer.
That's good.
Because I was trying to not kick the cat. So
I mean, if you have to choose between one or the other, I think you made the right but the difficult choice.
It's all good, hopefully. So you got back to town. You put the Nebbling in prison because you're tight with the prison guards. So you can sort of relax. What's the next step you want to take, party? Palmaro is really in a good mood since the plague's been cured. Even like we've had trouble with goblins is like a minor thing really to them. If these goblins, if these ogres were meant to be going out killing a bunch of people, they really haven't been. Maybe you got to them before they got into full fire of their operation. But
I feel like that's at least something we can fight. You can't beat up a plague, but you can fight back.
I don't know, beat up a plague.
We also may need to deal with the person in town in case they restart the plague issue. What with them having
I feel like on a long enough time scale, they're going to come after us.
What makes you say that?
It's known that we cured the plague, right?
It's also known now that we went out to do community service and deal with the ogre problem.
Right, so those are two things that person's not going to be pleased with.
There's also a construct that's serving them in town, which could be bad.
Right, so all I'm saying is all those times you laughed at me for alarming the windows, it's going to come up real soon.
I don't believe I've ever laughed at you for alarming the windows. I believe I told you that was a good idea, and I hope that you would keep doing it.
Baruit, your comment's not suiting my narrative right now, and I need to stop.
Well, regardless, Tobias, I'm very happy that you are alarming everything because it is a dangerous world out there, and we're happy to have you here, making sure that we stay safe. Now let's go meet our friends that I brought out of prison.
Oh yeah.
As you start walking down the, there's kind of a semi-main road that goes to the north gate here, and you've never really paid attention to it. There's a couple of shops here, but they're not like quite on the marketplace. You see two people, a human and seemingly a half-elf. They're sailors. They leave this potion shop. They do the arm linking thing. Both drink a potion. And then there's kind of a cloud of white smoke that has little sparkles of prismatic color in it. And they've turned into halflings. In their same clothing, but like fit properly to them. They kind of like get out there, like look in the, like a water bucket, and they're like, oh my god, oh my god. And then they like rush out of the gate.
What's that all about?
What just happened?
Baruit pulls out some pocket cheese, starts nibbling on it.
The biggest question is why would you want to be a halfling?
Right?
What if
Thank you.
that was a cure, and they were already halflings to begin with?
Then they should be stoked about whatever changed them into an actual creature.
I am so confused right now.
I'm gonna
Like,
mark
Baruit,
down that potion shop on my map of Palmaro.
Like, Baruit, if something turned you into a human, would you want to go back?
Yes,
Really?
I'm going to live longer than you.
Yeah, but what's the point of
Maybe.
living longer if you don't do anything with your time?
I've already lived longer than he'll ever live.
Says you.
Do you know how old I am, Tobias?
As far as I know, I literally can't die.
It's gonna turn to Eleanor and just, is this?
No, I nod to that. Like, yeah, no, it's true. And then one day he'll return to the hall of his ancestors and live forever.
Exactly.
Oh, that's. I'm not debating the discussion of an afterlife. I mean, on this plane.
I mean, I intend on being here a very long time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I didn't say that I was going to live longer than you, Eleanor.
I just looked at Aelinor and I'm like, what? Is Baruit secretly dumb? Like, I actually don't understand.
I'll just like put a hand to eyes and just kind of shake my head.
You get back
Elves.
to the water wizard, your tavern at the sea, and you see Dumas and the goblin Chot are waiting out there. They're waiting out by one of the sort of pillars that hold the building up, where some people sit and drink and watch the shore while waiting for people. And he's actually filling a pipe with pipe weed. No, let's put this more accurately. Chot, the goblin, is filling his pipe with pipe weed, hands it to Dumas. Dumas is like, no more. And then notices you come up and is like, hey! So, I got a name.
If you say Ignis, so help me God.
What's your name?
My name is Duma. Who the hell is that?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yes,
assumed
of
you would
course,
have a name.
introduction.
That's an insane thing to just say to someone when you first introduce. I also have a name.
Sorry, Tobias. Tobias, Dumas, and Trot. Trot and Dumas. Tobias.
This little goblin. Hey, that's the goblin that got away from you in the caves. The one that managed to get out.
Oh, yeah.
His ears droop, and he like scoots behind Dumas's leg. It seems like Dumas has got him some nicer clothing since they're both in nicer clothing. They left in.
Doesn't notice that it's not a different goblin.
They all look the same.
Exactly.
They left in like prison rags. At some point, they stopped past a tailor's. He's wearing proper armor. He's got swords on his belt. He looks like a sailor swashbuckler. And Chot is in smaller but similar garb.
Do we want to know how they afforded that?
Nope.
Okay.
Probably the same way you do.
That's fair call.
All right. The name, the halfling. First of all, doesn't live here. He's from the mainland. He's from the government. Whether he's working on behalf of the government, no. His name is Kedrick Fleethand.
I'm going to write that down. Give me one moment. Does it start with a K?
I was speaking to goblins. They didn't much write it down, did they?
Kedrick. What was the last name again?
C, it would be Cedric for it.
Not necessarily. Depends on the culture.
Like in a real culture.
Fleet hands, did you say? Is that right?
Fleetend, yeah, Fleetend.
Thank you.
The goblin said that he knew a lot about, poxes and diseases and things. So I'm willing to bet that that government has smart people in buildings that talk about things. Yeah, I think it's one of them, based on the thing you showed me. Clean-faced, short-haired, not a scar.
A diplomat, then. Or scientist, or researcher, or
Whatever those last two words mean, probably one of them.
Interesting. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you, Dumas. Now, we also have some information. Apparently, that halfling is being paid by giants under the mountain. Had to kill a bunch of ogres for that. That was not delightful.
It was pretty funny, actually.
Oh yes, the ballista bolt. Go, you. I'm sure you'll tell it better. Please.
This guy, and by guy I mean ogre, is shooting this big fucking crossbow. And by crossbow I mean ballista. And he's shooting it, it's blowing up everywhere, splinters are flying. Catches a couple arrows in his neck, falls backwards, shoots it straight up in the air as he does so. I think most of us just forgot about it. I mean, it's a tree, just up in the air. The last one surrenders, takes a seat on his buddy's corpse, forgetting that not too long ago he fired a giant ballista bolt. To be fair, I forgot either. And about 3 seconds into it, before he opens his mouth, just right through his head, out his ass, into the ground, through the other guy, and there he shall so remain.
Shot the goblin, giggles minutely. It's like the most you've seen him emote other than scream. Dumas is just like that. I respect you because you got me out of prison for what is honestly asking about some halfling toff. But that did not happen. That did not. That
It
did.
absolutely did, I assure you. My entire career is based off of telling true histories. That's the entire purpose of my existence. Do you know about the mountain elves?
Yes.
Don't engage. Don't engage. Oh,
Don't start.
So, we all worship the god of the hunt, Nerothian.
Do I still need to be, or like?
Yes.
Do you
just
need
one
me
moment.
more?
Now, just one moment. Let me explain this to you. So, obviously, the purpose for me is to tell a
Part
true
of the payment.
history.
Just-
Now, this
He lights his pipe,
Yeah.
leans back.
This purpose for me is to tell true histories. I would not lie to you about this because that would be dishonoring my god. I cannot do that.
I know a lot
It
of
went
people who dishonor like
straight
every
through his
god.
head. Yes. Well, I'm a cleric of the faith. It's my job to make
I
sure
know
that
some
people
clerics who have dishonored some gods.
don't-
Well,
then
I'll
You
tell
ever
you,
wanna-
there
you
was
ever
this
wanna-
little mince.
Oh no.
You ever want to see some shit? Just walk into the forest, northwest, like a few hours.
Go out north, and then you'll see the meeting stone. And then if you go to the west, direct from that, you'll see the camp, and you'll see
Yeah,
exactly what
I
happened.
don't care that much.
Oh, you should. It's worth seeing.
Do you
That being
actually
said, there are
see
probably
something
still more
click in his head? Like, no, oh yeah, maybe I will take a visit. Do you need me anymore? Do you need like me to look anything else up, or am I like free citizen?
Well, let me just see. Let me think for a moment.
I like thinking.
I don't know what spell you did.
I
because it
am
doesn't show.
reading thoughts on him, please.
He
Channel.
got the genius idea of paying people to show them this scene in the forest. Because they won't believe him, but then if it's actually there, like, you won't believe this, I bet you a gold that this happened, then there it is.
Burwood's just gonna give him like a wry smile and kind of raise his eyebrow and just say, well, that would be rather dishonest, wouldn't it?
You're really magical, man.
Honestly, I want to see if you can convince people. Please be my guest. Go ahead.
He kind of like tips his hat and marches past and like kind of does like the come on, and then Chot will totter off after.
And Burwood's gonna wave to Trot.
Make
and
sure
just-
you tell him who's responsible for such a grisly sight.
Pretty sure he only knows my name.
The name's Tobias Ostland. Greatest.
Yeah, sure. Toby. Unden.
Grafus.
Just tell him it's the
Racist.
big angry Viking who
Just-
fights a lot.
Tell them
In
it was the
town.
Grey Fists. Easier to
Don't tell
remember.
them that. It's stupid.
Tobias,
And he's
it was everything you ever wanted to become a Grey Fist, to become a hero. Are you telling me that you don't honor the Grey Fists anymore?
It's not that I don't honor the Grey Fist Baruid, but like, you said so yourself. There's no such thing as heroes.
Bruitt pats you on the chest
Tobias.
and pulls out his leather-bound book that he's been working on, and you can see kind of carved into the front of it is the title of the book, which is Here Be Heroes. And then he's just gonna slide it back into his pouch and pat you on the chest again and walk back into the hotel.
Tobias, the question isn't whether or not there are heroes in the world. Do you want there to be heroes in the world?
Well, so long as there's people who need stopping, I guess.
Well, then be a fucking hero. And stop asking everybody else to be.
That was not where I was expecting that to go.
Bruitt's like already upstairs.
You march back in. Inside your room, Barut, is Grokk the Knoll,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
sitting on the
Yeah.
ground with Nyx the imp
Yep.
growling to him.
Yeah, good.
Oh, Tobias, you have to see this. We have
I
another
hope
new
you
friend.
two have had
Oh,
fun.
Tobias is terrible.
I have not been having fun. You ever speak? Nollet comes like right up through the ghoulies into the throat. It's
You know what? Maybe one day you can
process.
teach me. Maybe one day you can teach me. But for now, I'm just enjoying the fact that you're the one doing it and not me.
anytime. You literally own me.
Bruitt's gonna pat Nyx on the shoulder and just say, I do consider you a friend, though.
I get.
No, I'm not-
I like it. It's fine.
I'm not going to ask you to do it all that often, but it does
There's
help to have
actually
someone-
like Grokk kind of like taps at you excitedly, which like a big dog, his claws kind of like scratch at you.
Yeah, a little scratchy. Sure.
And he points at him and he's like, "Gnarl!"
Yes! Very good! Burwood's gonna pull out a piece of cheese and hand him a little nubbin of cheese. I am running low. I need to stock up on cheese.
There's cheese in this town. There's a halfling
Uh,
backbone here.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give him cheese, and that's amazing. Well done, Nix. That's impressive for only a day and a half.
I just realized something. Where's the dog? Like Bjorn? Like where is
Oh,
he?
Usually
back on-
with you, I
He's
suppose.
just
Yeah.
No, he's back with
No, yes, he's
Yeah,
with.
went back for him.
She's
with
with
Laren. Yeah,
Yeah,
back
Laren.
with Laren.
I've been checking in though.
That's
That's
periodically.
what I
true.
thought.
Yeah.
'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, he didn't come with us to the Shadowfell.
No,
No.
I've been checking in with Laren periodically just over the weeks when I've had spare sending spells, like trying to check in with everybody pretty much. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of checking in, have you checked in with Lenore? Lear something? Lindar, the city.
Lendir?
Lendir.
Yeah.
Lendir.
Ta- Tobias'
I
family.
probably would have over the course.
You
of
check
the-
in with Kindley, who usually
Kindley,
gives you
yeah.
updates on how the city's
Yeah.
going. So you're
Cool.
good. No major disasters. They're dealing with any sort of monsters and things.
I
Probably
didn't want to
would've
come
checked
back to
in with
Jarviskjir and have it be gone.
Yeah, no, totally. It could be. There is war to the south, so who knows.
Very south though.
Yeah, but like you never know how angry people get. What I was gonna say is I would also check in with Hurl Giant, probably here and there.
Yeah.
Going on the homestead, Hurley. How's your love life? How's the lady love?
That's probably what Burwood is asking at this point, because he's probably just not asking about the fight anymore. He's probably just asking, so how are things going?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Uh,
but more importantly, what do you want to do now? When my internet behaves, it's having a real day of it
Fight
today.
I
Hello?
think we need to speak to Otto, warn him that the city will come under attack again if people allow for it. We need to understand why the people from Goldport were here in the first place. We need to also understand why the halfling government. Well, no, I already understand that one. They hate Palmaro. They want complete control over this land. Anyways, sorry, that's a total side note. I was going to suggest that we need to figure that out, but given how much the halflings don't like this city, that's not really a big jump. But beyond that, I think we ultimately just need to figure things out. Here, I know that there's a desire to leave. I would like to go home at some point and visit, show you around my homestead, given that...
Well, yes, I would like to leave the city. No, I don't want to go home quite yet. I do want to investigate the fire giants, potentially, because I feel like that is a good place for the fire gatestone to be.
Oh,
And
you're
I think
not wrong.
we have to go investigate that.
Yes, we do. I also want to go to my home, though, and I want to show you my people.
He
so that-
points to the mountains in the misty distance out the window.
So why don't we leave a note for Otto with the guards, so we can have one of the ones that are loyal to him give him a note on our way out. Go take care of the giants, visit your homestead, and then work from there.
I'd still like to take the time to finish writing so that I can send those off.
Well, maybe after we take care of the giants and the problem
Yes,
immediately
I'm
facing us,
very worried I'm going to die before that.
we could. We're not going to die before that. Don't be ridiculous. Then you can
Burrow,
finish
it,
your
like, visibly doesn't laugh or smile at that at all. Like, he
Look,
looked
you're
great.
not fading. You're not going to die. You'll be fine.
I do have a question. What's up with this dog thing?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Grokk points at himself and he's like, "Gnarl!"
He's a knoll.
I don't know what that means.
Well, he's a friend.
Dog creature.
Kind of
He like
shakes, like, offers like a gangly, thin paw to you.
Yeah, I'll shake his paw.
Yeah.
Like he gives paw. That's good. Wow.
He can also speak. As you just saw with him
I
saying,
like him. I
"Oh,
like this guy. He's cool.
me too."
Oh, they also eat people, Tobias.
Yes,
I
there is
mean,
that. But we're
they
going
eat-
to tell him not to. So
Define people.
Humans,
Ah,
children.
all beings really would eat pretty much anything put in front of them.
That's
Yeah, Null's
unfortunate.
like they eat everything. That's like their modus operandi. They kill it, they eat it. Sometimes not in that order, you know? They're crazy.
Really cheese.
Well, no,
He's been eating a lot of cheese. I can tell you. I've been stuck in this room with him. I can tell.
Baruit laughs at that and just slyly pulls another piece of cheese out of his armor and passes it over to Grokk.
Who is a big toothy knoll who
Yep.
very unsubtly eats the cheese.
Yep, and then I scritch behind his ears. But you know, it's
Alright.
fine. It's
No, it's-
he's a delight. He tells interesting jokes. He is also very fascinated with a dragon. Is it
okay.
Shadeth, I think.
Is there more to that, or he's a dog creature that tells jokes and likes a dragon?
One specifically, the party dragon, I think, is what I'm gonna be calling the dragon until I have a better nomenclature
What
for
is
it.
a party dragon?
Well, it's a dragon that hosts a never-ending party.
You know how most dragons have like breath weapons with fire and electricity and ice? This one just has like confetti.
You know, that's
Shakes
what
his
my
head.
first thought was, and I'm glad that I was right. I
Bright,
assume he
painful
also wears a
confetti that will
small-
still kill you.
A small pointed hat that has a pom-pom on the end of it.
Hopefully. Regardless.
You got a lot of party accessories in the north, apparently.
the whole industry. It's
It's a part
really
of our
the
heritage.
party hats are like carved wood. They're like
It's the
They're
face.
very
like a
heavy,
pom-pom,
which
like
is how
really
you
heavy.
know you're having fun, because it's
Yeah.
very heavy.
But then just a bunch of sheep's wool on the top to create a pom pom. Good times.
Confetti.
Yeah.
I have
mean-
some glitter.
Ideally,
It's like confetti.
staying around here would also make sure that we are aware of what those two other Neblings were doing. Whether or not they're going to come back with another force. I'd rather not leave town here, at least for a couple of weeks. And if we do travel, I'd like to detour up towards to where we found them to try and cut them off. But I,
No, I'm on board with that. You write your book. We'll just kind of do our thing.
you still have some more fighting to do, don't you, Tobias?
What? I mean, I guess if we're in town, but like you just write your book and like take
Yes,
your time
yes.
with that and cross your T's and dot your I's.
Oh yes.
You know.
And Nyx is going to be helping me with that, of course. Right, Nyx?
I've not been listening, and Nyx is trying to teach a Null to speak.
So, our plan is just take 2 more weeks of downtime right now?
Yes.
What about the dude and the construct that we know is here?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think
we
that's a
don't-
great idea.
We don't know that he's here.
In fact, literally,
Dumas told, us
Dumas
that he
told
was
you
in-
he's
he was on
not
the
here.
mainland. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, which is why I'm kind of like, we don't necessarily have a handle on what's going to happen in this city over the next couple of weeks. It would be better for us to almost feign leaving and then sneak back into the city and keep an eye on things. Also, there's something I want to do, and I'm just going to go for a walk. Burwick's kind of going to get up and rifle
You're
through the-
planning what you want to do for the next few days, and he just up and leaves midway
Burwick's
through.
going to actually go into the party pool as well, just quickly, and grab the stone that was given to, or that we got during our trial with the Grey Fists. And I'm going to take that out of the bag,
Mhm,
and I'm going to walk down to the water.
mhm.
Yeah. And I'm just going to throw it in the ocean. And then I'm going to come back to the hotel, and I'm going to say, that was bothering me. There was a way that people were tracking us, and we had no idea if anyone else could track us via it. I got rid of it. And then he's going to sit back down, and he's going to say, I'd like to stay in this city and see what that brings. because other people may have been tracking that and they may have just noticed that it landed out at sea. They'll probably put 2 and 2 together that I just got rid of it, if that's the case.
Well, this could be interesting, yeah.
It's a nice stone, though.
Just we've been here for so many weeks. I think if we were being tracked, we would know by now.
No, well, what he means is now that it's obvious that we've realized that could be, someone may notice that we now know and come to deal with that.
Okay.
We worked so hard to get that stone.
I know. It was very symbolic of our first journey together, and that's why I couldn't tell you what I was about to do, because you would have been very unhappy with me and probably wouldn't have let me do that.
I like also that you probably just watched him out like the window. Just walk over to the beach and just huck it.
Yeah.
Well, that happened.
Yeah.
Not pleased about that.
I know. But it was an ability for people to track us. I think at the very least, whatever we're doing can wait until morning. I think we should take today
Right.
at least.
But
to
if you're
relax.
planning on just staying in the city and writing your book, I think I'm gonna take Tobias and scout the outsides of the city and see if we can try to find where this giant encampment is.
I think that's reasonable.
Because I feel like that's doing something. Whereas that's preferable to doing nothing for
I
2 or
agree.
3 weeks.
Well, to be perfectly clear, I don't think that we should be doing nothing. More what I was going to suggest is that we should be on our full alert. And yes, I'll be writing my book, but I hope that you guys will take this and I'll pull out the other sending stone and toss it to you, Aelinor.
Yeah, of course.
And
I'm gonna be
hold on
taking
to
the whole party bag is what I'm taking with me.
Yes, but I basically I pulled
But
them
thank
both
you.
out and threw the one to you so that
Yeah.
I'm showing you that I'm holding the other one,
Mhm.
so that if anything happens, you tell me, and I come rushing.
No?
I think we should be on our guard. I think the town, especially if those Neblings were watching and ended up hearing that we told them that we had cured the plague, they may try and act quickly while our guard is down.
Agreed.
So as much as I'd like this to be downtime, I'm mostly going to just try and get as much work done on my book before I'm pretty sure an attack is going to come. And I think we should be here to stop it.
I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
I can watch the streets. I at least have a vague idea of what that's like normally and see if I can see any differences, any change.
Bruin's also going to pull out, because he kind of keeps maps from, like, everywhere he's been, pretty much. Like a tourist, you know, where they pull out, like, the brochures and there's just, like, 25 maps. But he pulls out one for the streets of Palmaro that he got years and years ago. It's probably not perfectly accurate because the city, I'm sure, has changed in the last...
Got a map right
10
here.
years. Yeah. But he's going to toss it to Virik and say, might help you.
Okay.
You'll notice a few things marked on it, but you can't read the shorthand.
I will respect that I can't read it, and then just try and avoid the curiosity of seeing what those spots are.
If you like, Bruit's giving you the map. He's pretty sure you're gonna go look at them at some point.
Okay, so
It's 2 weeks. Very probably would go eventually give in.
you take a night of rest in the increasingly busy tavern rooms, and the next morning, Aelinor and Tobias, you want to look for the entrance to the giant's lair.
Yes.
Okay. How do you want to go about doing that? That's a big ask.
The ranger's gonna do some ranger shit.
Oh, really? Huh.
It's a big ass. Tobias is gonna do it.
That's pretty much
It's
how
the
this is
ranger
gonna
and the
go.
bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yes.
basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess what do you want? Survival rules?
Yeah, but how are you looking for this entrance?
Well, we were told it was at the base of the mountain, right?
You told it was under the mountains,
Right.
which means
So
an
this-
entrance would be around the base of the mountain. Yeah.
Either at the base of the mountain or in the surrounding area. So I think
Oh.
the best way to try to find that is to try to find traces of creatures moving around, because presumably an entrance to an underground lair will have traces of movement more so than other areas surrounding the area. And then based on that, kind of go and really go through that area and try to find anything out of place that might be
Okay.
kind of entrance. I'm just checking.
I'm also gonna get my horse. We
Yeah.
haven't seen in a little while. He's been just cloud
Oh, also,
dissipating.
do you have guidance?
I might have got it's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip.
Paladins don't have cantrips. Fun fact.
Right.
Yeah. No guidance
do.
for you.
But I'm not there.
And you never
Maybe give
use
it to you
it.
before you leave. But you know.
Nah.
Doesn't really do
You got to go
anything.
quite a long
No.
way before you're starting survivaling anyway.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you can give me survival roll. Because of your horse, you're actually going to be able to track a lot more land in a day. So that's good.
All right. This is just a straight up survival roll then. So
Mhm.
let's see. How? One thing I'm just gonna check real quick. While we are traveling, just for what it's worth, we ignored difficult terrain.
Yes, exactly.
We can't-
Quickly roll. I want to get over this sleepy
Sorry.
by describing dramatic, cool things. Unless you roll like a 2. That's 10
I
plus
also
2,
do-
which is pretty bad.
Have an idea wherein I cast Speak with Animals and I talk to what I would refer to as a servant of Olin, which is the spirit of nature and animals, who is known for using small animals as his guides. So I would be talking to squirrels.
Exactly. You talk to squirrel, you talk to
Midlife.
deer, all that sort of thing. Now that is very.
I would ask them for like hints of like do you smell anything like burning, any bad smells, any bad things, any place you
What-
don't go.
What they tell you, you can give me a persuasion roll with advantage for this because you're going and talking to animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that, and then do this.
You have advantage. You know what? Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So you actually, while he's looking for tracks and things, and really he doesn't find much. It seems that in these hill lands before the mountains, there's actually a lot of traveling from ogres and gnolls and things. Not that you ever see them, and just large beasts in this sort of areas. But asking the animals, they're actually quite keen and all that. Oh, what more are you interested? No, I haven't smelled anything bad. You mean like burning? Oh, we smelled some burning people before. There's a burn, and they're very keen on going. You actually notice something. Once the magic of that spell leaves, you can still understand what the animals are saying.
Oh.
And when Tobias comes over, this squirrel is straight up talking to you. It's like, yeah, no. So there's a lake off that way. And if you pass it, I've seen this big fiery guy, and he's swooped through it, and it smells horrible, smells terrible, and goes off towards the place where all the people live.
Eleanor,
Oh, that is exactly what we're looking for. Thank
That's-
you.
is that squirrel talking to you?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a talking squirrel before?
This is a spirit.
I don't know if those mushrooms that we ate on the way here were what I
No,
thought they were.
are you not familiar with your own religion and culture, Tobias?
We're kind of winter solstice and summer solstice kind of family. We don't really.
Ollie, what color is the squirrel?
Regular. These would be red squirrels, so not regular squirrels. A little
squirrel.
rarer.
I was gonna say I've lived in all different areas, and squirrels are always different colors.
Yeah, it's true. But there's nice browns, grays, reds, even though it's meant to be just grey and red.
Black
There's-
squirrels.
Yeah, there's all
Yeah.
sorts of shades.
All right, just curious. But no, Tobias, this is a messenger of the spirits.
Well,
Another. At this point, in the little tree area that you're talking, several other animals have shown up, and a robin is yeah, of course, we're talking from the spirits. That's us.
Yeah, see?
Neat.
Also, the dragon.
The dragon.
Also the dragon. What dragon?
Cherith.
Sure.
And another one, let's say, a beaver. There's beavers in this area. Is yeah, Shareth is amazing.
Do you know where Shareth is?
oh yeah, and they kind of like will show you. It's not where like they showed you where they to a lake. This is almost if you went like directly east towards the mountains.
I'm gonna message Barut. We found the fire dragons and we found giants and we found Sheriff.
Oh, quite a successful trip then.
Yeah, and some talking animals.
Did Tobias feed you those weird mushrooms again?
And I think that's all Ascending Stone can get through. So
Well, I mean, I turned to Tobias. Do you want to go talk to Sheriff?
Let's go talk to a sheriff. Yeah, like
Talk to Sheriff, yeah. Why the fuck not?
like let's go
What
talk to.
could go wrong?
Let's go see what Cherith is saying. You know,
you
like,
you follow that
Last
way.
time when we split the party when we were dealing with the dragon.
The the forest animals follow along with you. You're like, oh, this is so exciting. Yeah, like bopping around like a freaking Disney princesses. With a group of small animal critters. And eventually you come up to the...
I was gonna say, why don't we have a Viking Disney princess? That'd be perfect.
You come up to the rocky cliffs face of the mountain. And you actually notice that kind of shape, that Grokk carved into the rock of kind of like a smiling dragon face is kind of weathered into a lot of the rock faces. Now that you're here looking for it, you'd necessarily notice it so much, if not otherwise. It's almost like it sits on like these totem stones and menhirs and things. And the forest critters will kind of guide you through a crack in the side of the rocks of the cliff face, and it's a narrow, twisting pathway that eventually opens up into a still quite narrow but much more grand chamber. This has been carved out a little bit more, very definitely by a dragon. You can almost see the claw marks carving it out. It's a long, straight, narrow passageway where very deliberately these little pillars sit that put forth little artistic things. You see what looks like almost an obsidian tree, fancy suit of halfling armor, pretty gemstones. These little things are put on display, very similar to the last dragon you met. Very clearly so that folks can look at it. Coming up close, when it's clear that you're walking through here, you actually hear the moving of scraping and claws, and a dragon of quite grand size steps around a corner from like the back where it's a much more open chamber where you can see trees. This dragoness has copper scales that in some parts have gone a little more greenish, some parts a little more reddish, some parts a little bluish. There's a plethora of colors in the art piece that is her scales, and she kind of steps around the corner quite carefully, leaving a claw on one of the pillars that make up the sides of this chamber, and you see a grin smile as her eyes kind of look over the two of you like molten pools of metal. And she kind of notices the group of forest animals nearby, and her neck leans down. Hello there, little critters. What have you come here for today? You've been shown to my home. I suppose there's a reason for it.
A couple, actually,
Are
I
you
think.
sheriff?
I am Shareth. Yes, the very same. You've heard of me. I trust you've heard of all the fun that we have here.
Well, we've heard of you from a knoll.
Ah, yes. Yes. Funny little creature. Not all
He was in
bad.
prison. We
I grew
saved him.
tired of it.
Yeah. He seems doing better now. He's learning common. Turning his life around.
But more importantly, why are you here, little beasties?
Well, you see, we were looking for a fire giant. Fire giants? Multiple, maybe?
Well, I'm not a fire giant.
No.
You are a giant.
I am humongous. And she kind of like walks around you once for kind of like a cat before like flopping down to the ground in front of you.
Is she
Still
on
like
Scritches?
it's like close to like Scritches, but not close enough that you can give Scritches. But you note like the tail is very deliberately behind you, so like you'd have to like walk around it to get away. I know where the giants live. The fire giants live deep under the mountain, and the stone giants guard their doors. Yes, they're a menace. They don't bother me. They're terrified of what I might do to them. I would destroy them, to be honest.
Well, we've been hunting down these gate stones that were created back in the day when giants and primordials fought, and that's all. Maybe boring, maybe interesting to you? I don't really know.
Depends how pretty they are, my dear. History is exciting to some, but I prefer a luster to my relics.
These stones are beautiful. They're one of the most gorgeous, I presume, natural things I've ever held in my hands.
You can give me a persuasion check,
Oh,
mister.
I'm so bad at that. But here we go. Nailed it.
Oh no.
You see like this grin of the sharp features of the copper dragon's face kind of fall a little bit. She kind of licks at her pronounced fangs, but doesn't like threaten you or
I
anything.
mean, the jade dragon seemed to be interested in them, and we gave her one.
She was all about it.
Interesting. You have some stories to tell. Now that is
Do we
exciting.
ever? There's
Please,
one won't
you
believe.
must stay. I will prepare food for you, comfortable lodgings. Please. She like stands up, which just almost like a rush of air from the size of this creature, and she slinks like now this kind of dragon, very cat-like in all their motions, very deliberate, pressed.
I will
footsteps.
say that she has very pretty scales.
Thank you. I
Well-
made them myself.
That's actually really funny. Because
She will
she grew
bring
them.
you to the back of the
Joke.
chamber where there is several trees growing, and she kind of nudges them as she passes, and the scrapes and armored scales kind of dislodge a bunch of fruit. They kind of fall and tumble onto the ground. You've never seen fruit like this before. They're very colorful. They're kind of like mangoes, but none of you would have ever had a mango before. And they're gonna taste like mangoes too. They might just be mangoes. Please
Well,
eat.
mangoes are great.
Make
Yeah.
yourself comfortable and tell me all about these gate stones. You think it's got something to do with the giants? They do have some interesting things. They make quite good works of art. Honestly, tortured spirit. Not very humorous, but very artisanal. I have taken quite a few of their belongings for my own, to be entirely honest. Someone who can appreciate the beauty quite properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they definitely have something to do with the giants. The primordials, all about these stones, all over the... Look, I'm going to tell you a story. It's not the happiest story, so I apologize, but it is an important story. These primordials or giants or whatever, they destroyed our home. My home specifically, very close to Eleanor as well. And that is all that aside. That's why we are after these gates, so it's to prevent them from opening this big gate, which I presume is why they call them gate stones, because it's like keys.
That would make sense, yes.
I thought so too, and it's just insane. But they're trying to open this big gate and bring all these primordials back through. There's a friend of ours. He's writing a whole book about it. That's what he's doing right now. I don't really have time for writing, so we kind of figured we'd go do something. Also, can I just say,
Oh, my dear little human, there's always time for writing. If you don't remember the stories of the past, of the good and the bad, then who will remember them in the future? If I house a grand event here, I want Drakes in the future to be remembering it. I want your story to be remembered as well. Surely that's what your friend is doing, writing a book. Such cute little things.
I believe so. You know, you'd probably really like him if you like books, because he is like, basically, if a book was a person, it would be him.
It's
Oh,
true. He wrote a
really?
whole story. We went to the Shadowfell not too long ago, and he wrote a whole book about that.
You might be by far some of the most interesting people I've ever had in my home. You've been
That is-
between realms, you're dealing with quite an adventure. It's magnificent.
That is a very grand compliment from someone such as yourself. So I appreciate that.
It is. It is. Please, eat. Eat more. You're positively tiny.
I will do
I
so.
And in the
Cheers.
meantime, why don't we inform our friends of where we are? The writing one, I'm sure, will regale you.
Oh, I'll have some of my... You... And kind of like motions to like the group of robins that have kind of followed in with the tree. We're now sitting on the mango tree. Like, you, describe your companion.
Oh, one's a mountain elf. Big gold bookworm, short
There's
hair.
a lot of them. Oh, short hair. Okay. Any distinguishing features?
He's a cleric.
Oh, he has this big scar from a banshee.
That's right. He did get scarred up by that banshee. And another one on his chest of a hornet. That one's less noticeable, but...
Scarred
Um,
elf. Go fight. I'm sure there can't be that many elves with scars in Palmaro.
Yeah.
And
hanging out with
the
the
group of robins will leave.
The other one's a dark elf.
Oh, that's more rare. You should have said that one
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I was about to say.
They've already gone now.
I was getting there.
Mask made of bone.
A dark elf
yeah, not wearing it yet.
all the way out here. Now that's interesting.
Can I just say, this is the first time I think I've felt at home or at ease since we left Slate Cove. Like, seriously, you're the nicest person we've ever met. All
Oh,
these
I'm
people
not a
here-
person. I'm far more than a person, but I'll accept the compliment anyway.
Well, you're also the nicest dragon we've ever met. Because the other dragon we met, the Jade Dragon, well-meaning, but you're much more personable.
Haughty.
A little
That's the
haughty.
word.
Yeah.
That's the word I would use.
I've heard as such.
hmm
You are treated to food and at some point drink while you're here. All brought to you by forest critters.
I'm gonna ask her, actually. I'm gonna say, have you ever had something, it's from the elves. It's like a bean. Coffee? Have you ever had coffee before?
I have not. Are you giving me tribute here, little Tobias?
I'm offering you a gift because I feel you've been so nice to us and so gracious.
Yes, a gracious host should always receive an appropriate gift from a guest, yes.
And where we're from in the north, we very much do the same. So, and I kind of reach in and pull out one of, I think I have 2 left. Yeah, I'm going to pull out one of the bags of coffee I have and give it to her and say, you just boil some water, put this in there, and you drink it. It's delicious.
Our friend can brew it properly for you.
Interesting. Drinking bean water, is that what humans do now? That's
That's what elves
strange.
do. It is
It's
strange.
like the opposite of alcohol.
It will give you the sensation that is the opposite of a hangover if you ever have experienced such a thing.
Oh, I have. A good event here without a hangover is not a good event. Speaking of, and she kind of like bangs her tail on the ground, and from the... You actually have no idea where the animals are coming from. There's like nowhere else for them to come from. They actually do come out with like more tankards, like a keg. They kind of like push it, roll it through, and you get more drink. It's around about this time that Barut, right in your book, you're like, well, now everything's set up. There's my pen, there's my ink. After the hourly ritual to prepare the desk, and then you see a large group of robins land on the windowsill. And robins usually are solitary, or there's like 2 or 3 of them.
Well, that's odd. Go back to writing.
They peck at the window.
Nix.
Oh, look, those ones taste good.
What?
Berry sauce?
Hold on, though. They don't normally travel in groups like that.
No, they're looking at you like they want to sell you something.
Do they have... I mean, I've lived here before. I lived here for almost 30 years, and at no point were there window-to-window bird sales birds? Sales birds.
Well, why don't you let them in and find out what they gotta say? You're not gonna find anything out just looking at them. Unless you magic it.
Well, that's a whole other issue. Barut's gonna open up the window just slightly and say, "Yes, can I help you?"
They tweet at you. They kind of flap their wings and sort of bounce, kind of twist.
All right, then. I'm going to close the window and wave goodbye to them, and then I'm going to cast
They don't
sending.
leave.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Sending at Eleanor. There was a large group of robins appeared at my window. What is that about?
They are getting you for the dragon because we're going to have a party.
Can you two give me insight rolls real quick? Then that's Aaron and Josiah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Maybe also help.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh
Never
I'm
no.
mind.
getting a real war vibe from this dragon.
Like I put in chat, Disney Princess the horror movie.
Yeah.
You guys are so distrustful.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Ew.
I'm going to cast Sending again and just say to Eleanor, she had a gnoll at a party. Gnolls eat anything and everything put in front of them, but mostly meat. What meat do you see at this party?
What meat do I see at the table, Ollie?
At the moment, just mangoes, but like increasingly, as this little table is being set up in front of you, you find there's like jerkies and things. Stuff that would have been kept for quite a while, probably.
All different kinds. No raw meat in particular. But she keeps her tail behind us. It feels unsafe. Unsafe is one word, but whatever. The last word is an exclamation point.
I just hear like a sharp noise in my head. Just, okay.
You hear disapproval.
With that in mind, can you stay safe? There is travel time.
What is the other option?
Oh no.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm out of spells.
Nothing left. Nothing left.
Yep. Can we?
Okay.
Virek! Shouting out the window.
I would
Run
honestly
down
put
the
that
stairs.
would be enough. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, it absolutely is. You wouldn't be very
Just like
far
off on a
away.
rooftop in the distance. Oh, okay then.
What? We gotta go! Dragon!
Okay.
All right.
You'll drag
With
down,
that,
that'd
we're gonna run back. I'll be back in a second. See you later.